Gotta be honest with you, well, it's hot in here. Put another 10 degrees on it inside this office, and you'll be about right, actually, with all the computers and everything. It is Wednesday, November the 10th. Glad to have everybody along, officially middle of the week. And today, I am absolutely elated. Yes, Kristy Jackson, coming out of North Carolina, is joining us here at Galaxy. But first of all, let me do this.
Galaxy. 107
And yes, do you realise that she has been today in the breakfast show this?
Ladies and gentlemen, today's feature artists on Galaxy 107 FM.
Hey, and we're off. How you feeling?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Just want to make sure you weren't talking to your wife and the head in your voice, the voice in your head.
No, ma'am, we good.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like to be a head in her voice.
Oh my gosh, I'm losing it. I'm trying to find you. Okay, there you are. Can I share at the same time?
Please do. Please do.
I was going to say, if I was coordinated, it was like, where are you?
Yeah, well, that's not unusual for me. I got to be honest with you, Kristy. Jeremy Wilson is watching, and of course the master himself, Terry Van Cannon. Hey, you pumpkin.
Hi, Terry.
Hello, pumpkin. I've been giving a bit of stick because he's had a big pumpkin season.
You sure did. We lost him for a couple of months because of pumpkin season.
Yeah, that would have
He
given
was
me.
off the grid.
Yeah, that would have given me the pip. Dear. Oh gosh. Kiwi air conditioning working? Not very well.
No, because there's no breeze.
No breeze. So the windows are open then.
Oh,
Okay.
Turn your fan. Turn your fan on.
Turn my fan on.
Yeah.
What's her name?
There you go.
Ethel. Ethel Red.
I asked for a fan the other day, Kristy. I got to be honest. I'm expecting something Swedish, blonde, blue-eyed. You know. I got a gold ear.
Oh my God.
It happens. That's the luck of my draw.
Around here.
Brian Smith's on. He says, looking good, Kristy.
Oh, Brian Smith saying, looking good, Kristy.
Thanks, Brian.
Very, very cool. And I do want to talk about the BMI awards you have behind you.
Yeah,
So
it
we
was
will
interesting.
touch on those. I also want to talk about Reba McEntire as well, and the song you did with that. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
What a successful career you've had.
It's been a very interesting ride.
I bet. And I would love to be able to talk about it as we go through this, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
Nice. Anyway, we have about a minute left, so are you all good? Yep.
Now, if I go to you on Facebook and you're live, won't I be able to share? Because right now I don't see you live. Because we're not live, right?
We are on
We are
Barbara
live.
Harkins. Mine. Go onto my account.
Yeah, go into Barbara Harkins.
Okay, maybe that's
Is it
was my
705?
problem. Let me see.
No, she's a friend.
Oh, I see it now.
There you go. Look at that.
Okay, I
Anyway,
just shared it too, so we'll be there together.
let's go live, sweetie, and thank you for joining us. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and folks, today I'm so elated, I really am. I've been trying to chase this one up for some time, and finally today I get to do it. I really, really do. We're talking to Kristy Jackson coming out of North Carolina now. Also got to welcome along Terry Van Cannon. He's the man I initially heard Kristy for the first time and just was elated. Really wanted to find out more, and we're going to go down that road a little later on as we go through this interview. So thank you for everybody that's tuning in this morning. Don't forget, if you're watching over there on YouTube later, sub, thumb, bell. Bingo. Bell notifications, right? When we have important people like Kristy Jackson joining us. Hello, Kristy. Welcome to Galaxy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It is an absolute pleasure. Now, believe me, as an engineer, I don't listen to music as a fan would listen to it. I listen to it more, I break it down like a DJ would, you know, try to get to understand, see where the shading is, who did what, when, where. And when I very first Carolina Blue, when I first heard that from Terry Van Cannon, instantly I wanted to know more about the lady that was singing on that particular track. Today we get to complete that because I've got to be honest with you, Kristy, it is your most requested track here at Galaxy. At one stage, we couldn't get through a breakfast show without playing it.
Well, it's a great song. Ron did a great song writing the song, and then Terry production and everything. Just everything kind of came together. It was great fun to sing on it.
We're going to talk about that as we go through the show, when we come to it actually. But first of all, look, we started off with Beautiful Rain. Now, I absolutely love this track. Tell me a little bit about it. How did you come to the lyrics?
It was actually it was a girlfriend story. Bitter breakup. Gratefully, I've gotten to the point where I don't have to experience everything I write about. I can now take and empathize with friends, and so if you're a friend, you're potential song ammo at any time. But I had originally produced it very straightforward, and actually my husband was the one that said, you know, why don't we do this reggae? He said, why don't you just do a reggae? And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, put some bounce into it. So he actually was the one that talked me into producing it the way it was produced, and now it's one of my favorite songs. Because I would never have thought of going in that direction, and I thought it was a great idea.
Yep, and believe me, I think production picked up on that as well. It's a way to start a show. It really is. Yes, Kristy Jackson coming out of North Carolina singing reggae. Why not? Brilliant. Wouldn't have thought of it myself. Sean Simpson, you're back again. Hello, darling. Nice to have you back again, sweetheart. Today, Kristy Jackson, absolutely fantastic. I'm loving it. I really am. Now, Kristy was voted Best Singer, Best Songwriter of the Trade in Yes Weekly 2021 Best Of Issue. Now tell me about this. It sounds like quite a well-known magazine, newspaper. Is it a, what sort of tabloid is it?
Well, it's a weekly here, or I think it's a weekly. Sadly, I should know this better, but it is an advertisement, a tabloid that's published here in Greensboro, North Carolina, and they always do a best of every year, and it's great fun to land in it. You know, even better to win it. That's even fun, more fun.
Well, one day you might be able to put my name forward and say, hey, Grant should be in this. You never know.
Best DJ overseas.
There you go. In fact, I think we're talking to one of your local radio stations over there, looking at doing a sister partnership thing so that we can expose more talent coming out of North Carolina. There's so much talent in your region. It's just phenomenal. And one guy says to me not so long ago coming out of there, you must know about everybody. I went, well, there's a couple of doors we haven't knocked on yet. But we're getting there. We're covering it. And believe me, I'm such, well, you know, I'm enamored with the sound and the quality of work that comes out of North Carolina. I really, really am. So meeting you and getting this done today, pinnacle of my day. Got to be honest, it is. I've been looking forward to this for a while, but moreover, I've been really looking forward to it today. Now, BMI award-winning singer-songwriter Kristy Jackson has had singles with artists on Giant, MCA, Curb, Universal, including 2 Grammy-winning artists. Now, I see the awards in the background there. For the uninitiated, let's run down first of all, what's BMI?
BMI is Broadcast Music Incorporated, then they are in charge of collecting airplay royalties for songwriters and music publishers.
Okay.
So there's BMI and ASCAP and CSAC. I happen to be a member of BMI.
Okay, so basically they're the radio police.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I've actually used that term before too. And they also, like, if you are a club, and they make sure that you are properly licensed to play, cover music and stuff. So they're a huge part of the songwriter and a music publisher's, career, because they are the radio police for sure.
I get it. I do. We have a similar thing here called APRA here in New Zealand. So believe me, we are paid.
Yeah.
We are. Sean Simpson says you rock. Well, thank you, darling. I really, really appreciate that. And, well, as a VIP member of Galaxy, so do you. You really do. Now, let's talk about You're Not a Tattoo, because believe me, got one or two myself. Do you have a tattoo?
A tattoo?
Yeah, do you have a tattoo?
Not a one.
Okay, well, I've got one or two, so I'm just trying to find out the assimilation of the name of the song, You're Not a Tattoo. How did you come to this?
Well, it's so permanent, and when you think of a relationship, so many of them aren't. So that was a perfect analogy for me, It's like, you're not a tattoo. See ya. Well, I don't even have to be you don't even have to be painfully removed. You're not there.
I love that. I really, really do. So, joining me live, coming out of North Carolina, is Kristy Jackson, and believe me, I'm loving this. You're Not a Tattoo on Galaxy.
You're not a tattoo. You're not something I can undo. You're not a permanent mistake.
How you feeling? You okay?
Yeah, I am. How about you?
Oh, yeah, I'm top of the world. I don't get to talk to pretty ladies that often. So, I'm very happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this is fun.
if you need a counsellor at the end of this, I know a couple. And we actually know one in your region. He's a criminologist too, by the way.
Hi, Chuck.
No, I'm not a
No, but I tell you what, if you were, he's a good person to know, I think.
Well, if I need counseling, I'll go to me. I've got my BA in psychology, and I swear I think I've used it in my songwriting to a huge degree, because if I can get into the singer's head, then I can get into his heart, and then I can get that lyric.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's kind of how you have to write a lyric from the singer's point of view. So it's actually done. It's been very useful.
You better watch it. She'll counsel you.
Yeah, she might. Well, there you go. I got about 3 BAs, by the way. And do you know what we called them when we got our BAs?
I'm almost afraid to ask.
Yeah. Drinking degrees. I'm not kidding. First couple of years at university, we got our BAs, literally.
Oh, that's
and
so
we
fun.
did it completely inebriated.
I think most people did that first.
Yeah. So, I don't want to use the term that we would normally use. It starts with P and ends in S, but we call it a drinking degree, literally. And yeah, I've got about 27 letters to my name behind my name, and that's more letters than I have to my whole name. And you know something? I've never used them, ever. Walked straight out of university, straight into radio, biggest radio station in New Zealand, and have never, ever used my degrees for anything.
But you're happy, and you're doing what you love, and you're good at it. So, there you go.
Somebody accused me of saying I was born for the job.
See, there you go.
Yeah, somebody else also said to me, Grant, you're the godfather of modern radio. I says, that's just you calling me old. Which is true as well, isn't it, Barbara?
Yeah.
Yeah, the godfather. And he was the guy who was for APRA, the radio police. He goes, Grant, yeah, the godfather of radio. Went, oh, not nice.
You're not a tattoo. No. You're not a tattoo. No.
That's right. You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. Chuck, nice to have you on board from Jacksonville, Florida. It has been a minute since we've caught up. How's Molly? Hope she's doing well as well. He goes, hi, Kristy, from Chuck from Jacksonville, Florida. Sounds nice. He's loving your style. He really, really is. Sean Simpson says, I have angel wings tattoo. Ooh. Dear, I'm not going to get into graphics or anything like that, no, or geography of the body. Terry says, I wish she could cheer up a little. Seriously? Wow! Terry, if this is unhappy, please let me know. I think she's doing absolutely sportingly well. She's got to look at me for a start. Right? Yeah, that could be, maybe she needs a mason jar full of something just to be able to get through this. You never know. Dear, oh dear. Molly says, where in North Carolina is all the good music? Well, I tell you where it's originating from. It's originating from everywhere in North Carolina, especially Greensboro. Is that right? I've got it right, haven't I?
You do. There's a lot of stuff happening in Greensboro. Very cool.
Yes, believe me. And I'm following a lot of artists coming out of Greensboro. Also in Charlotte, I've got a few bands coming out of Charlotte, and one wrestler actually. A wrestler, yeah.
You said a whistler. I was going to go, wow, I thought you see a 3-minute whistle song.
No, actually, we have a young lady whose father is very famous in the wrestling game. His name is Ric Flair. Her name is Charlotte, coming out of Charlotte. She's the queen of the Queen City. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, absolutely. There is so much well-buried talent in North Carolina. So I hope that answers your question, Molly. Terry says, Molly, of course, I think Greensboro. Yeah, absolutely, of course. Terry, North Carolina. Yeah, absolutely. Molly says, Asheville.
Yeah, Michelle Lee's in Asheville.
Michelle Lee's in Asheville. Yes, she is. You're quite right. You know, as I said, North Carolina is so talented. Why finger one place? But today we're fingering Greensboro.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go.
Absolutely stunning. Now, I want to talk to you about Reba McEntire. Now, this was all in aid of the 9/11 event that you'd written a song about, wasn't it?
Well, no, those are two different things.
Okay.
The 9/11 song is Little Did She Know, and that was written in 2001. The Reba McEntire cut was in 1992.
And that was called,
And that was just an R&B song.
And was that called Take It Back?
Correct.
Right, now I'm back on track. Good.
There you go.
Thank you. But before we get to that, I do have a fan question for you, Kristy. Is as a fan, how do we get hold of you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? Are you on TikTok? But more importantly, do you respond?
I do. I always, matter of fact, especially with the 9/11 thing, I got I got like over 400 emails from Australia because it was played over our Thanksgiving, and I answered every one of them personally because it was just, the stories they were telling me were very personal. So I think it's fun to, if they reach out, absolutely, I'll reach back. You know? But yeah, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff.
Well, I tell you what, Kristy, now you're going to have another 5,000 Facebook fans in no time. You're going to have no time to do anything other than, wow, wear out your thumbs in your phone. But having said that, and I do want to talk about this because little did she know she had kissed a hero, raised over $30,000 for 9/11 charities. Tell me a little bit about that.
The song, or what we decided to do about the song?
Yeah, more about the charities and how you donated this money, how it was generated.
I had made a decision early on that I would donate my airplay royalties to charities. So there was the Beamer Foundation. Todd Beamer was one of the gentlemen on Flight 93. That and then little did you know, it's literally about Flight 93. And then there was the 9/11 fund, and then there was the Twin Towers fund. And then as soon as that I've always given a percentage of royalties to charities, and currently it's American Red Cross, because I used to work as a disaster team for them, and so I'm a very big proponent of giving back.
As a humanitarian, I have a lot of respect for you for that. I really, really do. We get involved in a few bits and pieces from around the world as well. Currently, we're looking at building schools in Africa and Jamaica. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? So believe me, I have a lot of respect for you for that, and I really wanted to get that out there so that people would understand exactly what was going on. Now, I do want to go and cover Take It Back. Now, tell me about the lyrics of this, because I absolutely love this track. In fact, I play this track in my car. But yet again, I play Skinny White Girls in my car as well. You know what I mean? So, tell me about this. I'm absolutely fascinated.
Sadly, Take It Back, once again, was about one of my neighbors. Thank you. I won't name the neighbor. It's been years, and I'm sure their marriage they've gotten it back together and get back on track. But at the time, it was, it really was. It was happening to a neighbor of mine. So I took that and I wrote this song, and I tried to keep it, simply produced, because at the time I was playing in a beach band, and I wanted to be able to reproduce it, live. That's kind of a thing that bugs me, is when bands go out and they can't reproduce what you hear, like on the radio and stuff. But anyway, so sadly it was a true story about my poor neighbor at the time.
I love that, I really do. I got to be honest with you, Kristy, the last time I ever heard the words "Take It Back" actually came from Tina Turner before she hit me with a pillow. True story, it really is, and that led into something else. In the end, I get kicked out of the motel. They weren't going to kick her out, for sure. But in the meantime, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, joined live by Kristy Jackson, coming out of North Carolina. I'm absolutely loving this. Here's Take It Back. Yeah, that's a true story too, by the way. I was in a place called the Sheraton Hotel, which is one of the most plushest ones in Auckland, and I was Tina Turner's engineer for the concert that she was having in Auckland, and I just criticised her about one thing. I said, hey, listen, I didn't really like that, and she hit me with this pillow and said, "Take it back." So I picked the pillow up and threw it back at her, and before you know it, we're brawling in the hallways together with these pillows. Feathers flying everywhere. It went all the way down into the foyer. I ended up in the fountain in the foyer. Security guards come along, see me, see her, see me, I'm gone.
Oh my God, what a great story though.
Yeah, it really happened too.
Not too many people can say they've had a pillow fight with Tina Turner.
This is true. This is true. She is a wonderful, wonderful person.
Oh, she seems like she is. Well, of course I don't know her, but all I see is, like interviews and stuff, and she seems very down to earth, and very cool.
I had the honour of mixing her Thunder Down Under tour for the Thunderdome.
Oh, wow.
For the Thunderdome.
Very cool.
Wow, what a show. Absolutely loved it. Really did. Aha! Terry's telling on you. Now Kristy is very humble and may not mention it, but she has her own little non-profit help musicians in need here in Triad area. So, Kristy, I want to talk about that. Is that okay?
Yeah, well, no, I'll be happy to talk about it. I'm very proud of that. Terry's on the board. That's why he ratted me out.
Yeah, good on you, Terry. Oh gosh, we love you, Terry. We really, really do, my friend. So thank you for that. We're going to talk about that. And Kristy, would you consider, once we got our borders open, would you consider travelling maybe down here to the Antipodes?
Oh my God, it's like a bucket list dream. Are you kidding?
Let's talk about that as well.
Figure something out. I don't know how, but I figure something out.
Round in some pity pool. You think you got a ticket, now must be some cotton fool. Oh, I hate to steal you
You're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and let me tell you a little something about Kristy, and believe me, I'm really, really fascinated with this. Her music has also been used in film and television, with notably by Disney, Edimol Productions, and Universal Studios. Now, believe me, that is an achievement in its own right. It really, really is. Kristy, are you familiar with Lord of the Rings?
Sure.
Okay, a good friend of ours actually did the score for that.
Oh, wow.
And I think it was done through Universal Studios, or Warner Brothers, one of those. But believe me, now I got a little story to tell you, and I'm going to tell you this story a little later on as we go through this. And I did ask you if you'd entertain the idea of coming to New Zealand. I'm going to talk to you about that too. But first of all, now, Terry has sort of dropped you in it by telling me that you have your own non-profit organisation to help musicians in need. Now, tell me a little bit about this, because I find this not only fascinating, but warranted.
Well, thanks. Well, I'm coming up, like I said, my success kind of came in the early 90s with the Reba cut. And I was just, acutely aware of, I was one of the few independent, musicians that could afford her own health insurance. That was, as a general rule, we don't get bennies, we don't know benefits, for being an independent songwriter. So I did, in 2012, I believe it was, I went to an attorney, and he was very kind and did it gratis with me and helped me do the paperwork, and we put together, it's called Triad Musicians Matter, and was kind of based excuse me, about kind of the Red Cross, the American Red Cross, because like I said, I was on a disaster action team, and we'd go to fires in the middle of the night, and what I didn't know, I thought the Red Cross just was blood drives. I thought that's all they did, and not at all. I mean, we could, that night we get there at a fire, we could we could feed people for 3 days, we could house people for 3 days, we could clothe people for 3 days. And it's like, oh my God, wouldn't it be nice to have something that we could put together fast. And if a musician, was in a car accident, or had a horrible, diagnosis, or we're just financially struggling for what, reason or another, we could kind of quickly resource some income, like that could carry them for 2 or 3 days, just to give them a moment to breathe and try to put together what to do going forward. So that's kind of what it was based on, was that theory. And Terry is one of my officers. He's been with me from the very beginning. And I've got 2 other board members, Ogie Overman and Sam Funches, who are fabulous, fabulous resources for me. And it's been wonderful. We've helped 20 some musicians in the area who just fell on hard times, or they lost their house in a tornado. And it's not it's not gonna prop them up for a year, but if it just props them up for a few days so they can take a breath and start trying to pull their life back together, then we've made a contribution. So I am real proud about that. I'm very happy to have spearheaded that. I think it was important, and I think it needed to be.
And believe me, I'm absolutely enamored with this. I really am. And something, respect to you, believe me, from a Kiwi down under, I really want to express how much I do respect you for that. Molly, by the way, Chuck says, I worked at Disney MGM Studios, now called Hollywood Studios, saw Bob Hope and other major stars come through the park in the 80s. Well, very, very cool. Believe me, Bob Hope, whew, that was a while ago. Really was. Now, having said that, I did sort of brush by the suggestion maybe we could get Kristy down here in New Zealand, playing in front of New Zealand audiences. Now, we've also expected Terry Van Cannon and a number of other artists to be able to make the pilgrimage down here. I'm just wondering if we could include you into this, literally, and make this a really decent festival. I would love to be able to showcase your skills as well. Would you consider doing that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'd have to put some things in place, but I would love to. That would be amazing.
Very nice, because believe me, Barbara has Aurora Entertainment. She manages that. Basically, it's a one-stop shop. You give her the logistics, she'll take care of it. You know what I mean? Everything from scaffolding to build stages down to, well, a coffee if you need it. You know? She's that good. She really is. So when we get our borders, and it's actually starting to look good. In fact, Auckland today, for the first time in, I think, 2.5 months, ladies, you can go shopping. Retail is open. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, mate. You could hear the thundering hooves from here. And parking, well, people literally, as of 5 o'clock last night, were lining up for the shops to open up in Auckland. They've been that deprived from being able to do anything. They were in level 3, still in level 3, and still have borders in place around Auckland, but it's level 3, step 2, which means there's a little bit of something coming for Christmas this year. Brilliant. Christmas not too far away, actually. What, about 6 weeks? Oh, goodness. It won't be too long before production is putting through the Christmas ads and everything like that. I love Christmas. I absolutely, it is one of the few times that I can actually get away from feeling radio and do something where I can actually enjoy the music. You know what I mean? Because I hear so much of it. Christmas music,
He was born
something
3 days
different for a
before
change.
Christmas, that's why.
Sure.
Now, do you have a Christmas song yourself?
I was gonna say I actually do. I was gonna my favorite song is a song called Shine, and I wrote it with Megan Connor in Nashville, and it's a Christmas song from the perspective of the Christmas star, and it's one of my favorite songs. I love it. I'll send it to you.
Please do, because
I'll probably have it as a demo, but Megan sings it and just kills it, and I just love this song.
well, please do, because we would love to include it. This year, I've heard the board's already told me that we're going to be closing down for about 4 days, and nothing but Christmas music. And that whole time, gosh, I feel sorry for everybody, but loving it. You know, 2 days building up to Christmas, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. So, yeah, believe me, it's going to be fun. And for once, I'm going to get a holiday in 4 days. Haven't had that for a long time. In fact, 7 years. To be honest,
Wow.
the last time I went on holiday. Really was. Now, Kristy, I have this track playing in my car, and now let me run down this, and I've got to let you know, Kristy, it's not easy getting an interview with us here. It doesn't matter who you know or what you know, it still goes through the same process. Now, Barbara gets about 30 bands a day wanting to do the interviews, wanting to do the promotions, wanting to do the whole ensemble. She's got to cut that down because we've only got a certain amount of time in a week to be able to get these in. And then she takes that to production again, and Barbara, we cut it down a little bit more, and then we present it to a board of anything from 8 to 12 people, any given board meeting. And once it, because, well, you know, they like to keep our image intact. So, you know, only the best stuff gets through. Then Barbara doesn't say anything to me. She just hands me a little USB device that I play in my car. Now, the reason I listen to the music in my car, literally, and it doesn't tell me any information, no singer, no title of the track, nothing like that, just plays the music, is simply because I don't want to be influenced on whether or not I want to do the interview. I'll base it on the music. You got me?
I do.
Second reason is nobody else wants to drive with me. Which is true. Now check this out. This is a true deal. Barbara's ex-husband, former car racer, right? Barbara's son, former New Zealand champion car racer. Barbara's grandson, current New Zealand champion car racer. Get in the car with me? Not a chance. I mean, what? Really, what? You know, I like to go sideways as much as your family does. Really? Yeah, that's what I do it in the bush, literally, at high speed.
No trees.
I really do. But when I heard this particular track, I've got to be honest with you, Kristy, I pulled the car over, opened up the doors, turned up the stereo, cracked a cold one, if you please. I really did that. and put it right back at the start and just damn well enjoyed it. It hasn't come off my playlist in the car since. So tell me about Skinny White Girls.
Let's see, that is a very cynical song, obviously. And it was kind of my little editorial about so much of the stuff we see on TV is just ridiculous. It has no substance whatsoever. And for so many years, that's all it was little skinny white girls. And I just thought, this is ridiculous, and they don't have to do anything and they get air. I don't get that, And then now, I must say, I think we're getting better now. We're getting more content, but it's just, it was completely a tongue-in-cheek song because it was just like, this is ridiculous.
Well, Kristy, I got to be honest with you. When I first heard it, I laughed my derriere off. I really, really did. I have literally included it into my playlist when I go to work and go home at night. It is quite regular on my playlist. So here, joining us live from North Carolina is Kristy Jackson and Skinny White Girls.
Skinny white girls are taking over the deep.
When I first heard it, I actually thought, there's a fat woman making fun here. But I stand corrected. I apologise for thinking that, I do. But I really, really laughed. I thought, this is perfect. I love this.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. 'Cause it was just like, I don't know, I had to say something. I know I can't keep my mouth shut when I'm writing songs. Oh, you'll always know my opinions on something, on most things.
Well, now, I've got to ask you, how's the pandemic doing for you over there at the moment?
For me personally, I'm feeling very confident. I've been vaccinated. I've been boosted. I've been everything. I don't know if you know, but my husband has Parkinson's.
No.
So I played it. Yeah. So I played it very close to the vest, for his sake. I'm pretty healthy, but I was just, terribly afraid I would bring something home to him. So it was, I didn't go out for a year or two. I didn't go to the grocery store. I ordered it online. I had them put them in the car. I didn't go out. I'm finding that it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. I'm what you call an extroverted introvert, where people see me and they go, oh my God, you're a natural for performing. And it's like, no, it's called performing. I've been doing it for a very long time. But I don't mind being alone. I really don't. It's bad. But so I didn't mind too much. I think the last few months, that's when I started kind of putting songs out on Facebook. And I'd be lying if I didn't say I was enjoying the feedback because I was feeling connected. And I had started feeling a little isolated, as we all did, But I played it very safe, so I felt very confident. Still do, and like I said, we're both vaxxed, we're both boosted, and for me that wasn't even a discussion. It was like, no, this is what we do,
Very cool, very cool. Let's go back to the desk.
I'm taking over the TV. Skinny white girls, they shouldn't speak for me. Skinny white girls, yeah, they're in every magazine. Skinny white girls, they're quite the media machine. Skinny white girls, skinny white girls.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. And Kristy, I've got a question for you from a fan called Bethany coming out of Tulsa. And she says, Kristy, what would you call the pinnacle of your career to date?
The pinnacle of my career to date is pretty easy. It was the whole 9/11 experience and that song and how it took off, and because it was not promoted professionally. It was promoted by word of mouth, and the fact that it had the journey it did and the impact it did, it was remarkable and changed me forever for sure. I mean, I still have friends, I still have first responders today that every anniversary, I know I'm going to hear from Dennis. I know I'm going to hear from Mark. I know I'm going to hear from, from Ken. I know I'm going to hear from Martin. I mean, it's just because, I met these guys and they were just amazing. I met so many first responders when I would go up there to perform and it was, I mean, they changed me forever,
I absolutely adore that. I really do. Sean Simpson, petite, 5 feet tall. I'm 6'2", but good things come in small packages. I absolutely love that. I really do.
5'3".
And I don't mind being called a small package. I really don't. Literally. Now, I was talking to you about the COVID thing, how it's happening over there for you right now. With this COVID thing, are you doing more writing? Are you doing more recording now than live shows?
I didn't write for a while because I just kind of I was just trying to process everything. It's like, what is happening, This is just so strange. But then I finally did, and I'm a big proponent of you write what you know. So the first song I did was just about, how, in my opinion, how we were going to get through this together apart. Because if we would all just hang in and do the right thing. Because, I mean, my son and his wife and my grandson were on the other side of town. I mean, we didn't see them for months. My youngest son, who was, he was working at a restaurant, and obviously that shut down. And I knew they were going to shut everything down. And I told him, son, I think if you're going to get stranded somewhere, you might want to get stranded here where there's internet, food, multiple guitars and piano. So he ended up coming back, and then he was so vigilant. I mean, he didn't see his friends, he didn't date because he was so concerned about bringing stuff home to us. And so, it was sweet. That's actually one of the most poignant parts of 9/11 is I got to have 9 months with my youngest son that I would never have had, if that hadn't happened. And it was just a wonderful time. It was a wonderful time. He thinks of it as a wonderful time, which is pretty cool to have a 35-year-old son go, that was a great time. That was I really got some great memories from that. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Pretty cool.
Absolutely stunning. And silver linings, really. And I love hearing stories about that. But for those of you that are out and about these days, especially in Auckland, don't forget, wear your mask, right? And don't forget to say to people that are close by you, oh, that's funny, guys. Well done. Love that. I really, really do. Now, I got to be honest with you. The very first time I ever heard your music, and I got to be honest, straight away, I wanted to know who you were. Kristy Jackson, tell me about Terry Van Cannon's Carolina Blue.
Well, Carolina Blue, Terry approached me. I've never, ever, and he's like, what? But I've never been asked to sing on anybody else's material. And I don't consider myself a stunning vocalist. It's a raspy, bluesy, probably 8-note range voice, so I have no illusions of what my voice is. So, but no one's ever asked me to sing on a song. And so he had brought this song that Ron Hutchinson had written, and he was putting it on his record, and he said, would you consider singing on it? And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to. I think that'd be fun, And I mean, it was as simple as that, And he's like, well, okay, well, I'm paying you. And I'm like, no, you're not. We're friends. No, you're not. That's ridiculous, But it was great fun, and it was, I think it turned out to be a style that my limited range really works well in, And it was kind of bluesy, so it was an easy song for me to agree to because it was a cool song, And the production was great. Terry sounded great on it, and it's like, yeah, I'll sing all that any day,
Well, I gotta be straight up with you, Kristy. When Terry first gave it to us, produced it for us, and we started playing it, I wasn't getting through a breakfast show at all, for a good long period of time, which doesn't happen here. We go on, and believe me, the breakfast show is primarily put together from requests and what song by what artist. Now, for a long while there, every breakfast show we were playing Carolina Blue. It was just picking up momentum. We also have you in the Tuesday Night Blues Show, and currently sitting on 5,733 requests to date and climbing every week. This is one of the biggest hits that Terry Van Cannon's ever had, and therefore, believe me, this is why, as soon as I heard this, I knew I had to know more about you. I really, really did. So, absolutely fantastic. I've got to congratulate you. Not a lot of bands get that many requests over the period of time that we've been playing it. They really don't. You know, you might get bands, you know, breaking into the 1,000 at the most. The 5,000, almost 6,000 requests. Phenomenal.
Crazy.
You know, so I really must congratulate you. So, right here, joined live by the lady herself, and of course Terry's watching. He's doing the Big Brother thing, watching on the Facebook thing. We're joined by Kristy Jackson, and here is her most requested track, Carolina Blue. I'm not kidding, Kristy. This went ballistic.
Isn't that wild? It was just like a perfect symbiotic team, you know, the writer, the musician, the vocal, I guess. I mean, something about it just must have clicked, you know, because it's been really accepted well. It's cool.
It's gelled so much, and I think it's the audience. We have an audio audience. We don't have fans. We have an audio audience. If you know what I mean. They connected with it right away, and for a good while there, it was literally tying up our internet stuff by people wanting to know more about it. Who was it? Da da da. We broke it as Terry Van Cannon, but we didn't break it as Terry Van Cannon featuring Kristy because we wanted to do this interview. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you.
So, and for me, it's again an honour to meet you. It really, really is. And I couldn't be more fascinated with this work. I really couldn't. So I've only got one question to ask you. You got any more coming? Are you going to come back again? Will you release more stuff with us?
Oh, absolutely.
You do need a counsellor, don't you?
I don't think that's an easy question.
Okay, all right. Of course, she is a counsellor.
Yes.
I just said you do need a counsellor, don't you? But I got reminded you are one, so okay. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Most people go, no, I'm sick. I'm like, no way. Not talking to him again. He's a nut. Listen, you don't have to be silly to work here, but it helps. It really does. Kristy, and yeah, okay.
What's the voice?
She knows what I'm going to ask you. She does, because I ask everybody this. I really do.
Oh,
so,
here we go, Merv.
Are you a vegan?
Am I a vegan?
Yes.
No.
No. Are you like me, a meatologist like me?
Yes.
Okay. The reason why I do ask, literally, is have you ever tried a vegan sausage?
This is good. Where is this going?
Yeah, it's a joke. Watch out.
Well, I just want to know if they're made of real vegans or not.
Of course, vegetables.
No, I don't know. I don't think I have.
Some guy says to me this morning, I've tried a vegan patty. I went, is it made of real vegans? He goes, I don't think so.
You said veg, but I don't think so.
God.
Well, you can understand how upset I was when I found out Girl Guide biscuits weren't made of real Girl Guides.
My hubby's coming up to Kiri next week for work.
Galaxy. 107 FM.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM. Merv Penny is watching. Nice to have you on board, Merv. Stunning artist from up the far north of New Zealand. By the way, I did ask you to New Zealand. I suppose I should ask this. Do you know much about New Zealand?
No, not a lot.
Okay.
I know that my parents said if they ever, before they passed, of course, but they said if they ever lived anywhere other than the United States, it was New Zealand.
Oh,
So they loved it.
Yeah, believe me, it's a great place. You know, poor misguided parents, I'm sorry. But New Zealand's made up of 3 islands. Now, check this out. Right down the very bottom of New Zealand is a little island called Stewart Island. Yeah, it's the only island in New Zealand that actually got a name. Manly name too, by the way, Stuart. Whoever named New Zealand from then on ran out of imagination, called the next island South. And then North. yeah, believe me. Yeah. So very imaginative. They really are. We're on the east coast of the North Island, which is the bigger one, actually. Well, we would love to be able to welcome you to New Zealand, show you around our humble country, and have you partake in some of our traditions as well. There's some really crazy stuff that we do, I've got to be honest with you, and I'm not going to get into it with you right now because it's all about discovery, and sometimes you've got to make the old ticker go just to let you know that you're still alive, right? And we do all of that. Now, I was talking to you about, of course, Lord of the Rings. The original set of Hobbiton is about an hour and a half away from where we are right now. We'd love to be able to take you through there, show you around a little bit. I must let you know too, Peter Jackson, who was the director of the movie and producer of the movie, I actually went to university with the man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, that was a millennia ago, I've got to be honest with you. He's a Sir Peter now,
Yeah, back in the day.
but I can't call him Sir Peter. Listen, I've been drunk with this man. I can't call this man Sir, literally. And if you've seen any of his earlier University Day movies, you wouldn't be calling him Sir either, to be honest with you. So believe me, but we would love to be able to show you around a number of things that we do here in New Zealand and include you. Now, do you like shopping?
No, she doesn't.
Yeah? Okay, I got the perfect person for you. Barbara is an Olympic shopper.
Nice.
Believe me, you two will get on peas in a pod, literally. Do you like wine?
Actually, I don't drink.
You don't drink? Okay, well,
I don't, but I used to, and I did it so well that I thought, you know what? I don't think this is working for me anymore. So I quit about 10 years ago.
you know, I think you're in the same boat as us, because none of us actually drink here either. Not unless it's a pop drink. Thank you. I was, Coke, something like that. But literally, we gave up drinking about 10 years ago as well. But we do have friends of ours that we take through to some of the more famous wineries that we have here in New Zealand.
Nice.
Do the wine tastings thing and stuff like that. It's always fun chasing a naked lady. You get her back on the bus again. I've done it. I've literally. She had too many wine tastings. Ended up down through the vines. I had to go and run after her, and what do you know? She's naked.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know who of us was more embarrassed, to be honest with you.
Well,
'Cause-
Reverend Grant.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, she took wine to the nth level. Truly.
How's that?
And poor Montana, it took us a while to be able to get that relationship back. It really did, but we got there. But we would love to be able to show you around. Possibly some stuff that you may or may not ever see again, literally. And including how to be able to cook food in a geyser kind of deal. The bubbly muds and everything. We've got all of that. The indigenous folks of New Zealand, the Maori, there's a city just, about not even an hour away from where we are, about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. There is a place called Hell's Gate, literally, and it's like stepping back into the dinosaur area with the era with muds and geysers and all that sort of stuff. And they teach you to be able to cook food in the natural waters that is supplied there.
Wow, that's very cool.
Very stuff and great tasting food. I gotta be honest with you, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
Including
yeah.
including boiling eggs and all that.
Yeah,
Sort
I
of.
love a hungry.
So we will be absolutely honoured to have you join us here in New Zealand. Now, we're going to have to wrap this up right now. We've got a thing we've got to go to. Unfortunately, I've got to go to a council meeting very, very shortly. But, Kristy, don't go anywhere just yet. We're going to take a couple of crazy photos. Believe me, it's Beauty and the Beast time over here. And then... It is literally. Then we'll take some photos with you as well. Barbara will put it all together, make a movie out of it, and again, we'll make you into a cartoon as well. So, believe me, and this is fascinating. I've had one guy, he watched the movie that we did, loved it. It was he was an agent for this particular artist, but when he found out there was the cartoon, he watched the same thing 20 times. People do that. I've found out the cartoons are more popular than anything. They really are. So,
That's fun.
God, I absolutely love that. But please bear with me. But in the meantime, we'll switch over to the other studio. Thank you for everybody that's joined us today live on Facebook Live with Kristy Jackson coming out of North Carolina. And believe me, over the next couple of days, the talent doesn't stop. We got Hear It coming. We do. In the meantime, let's go out with Snap and Colour of Love.